Take a look at these two tanks. They are sitting right next to each other. Same room, same water, same lighting schedule. But one is a dense jungle trimmed a few inches below the surface, and the other is an absolute wall-to-wall explosion of pearlweed that has completely breached the surface. Today, we are diving into this overgrown jungle. It's only a 2.5-gallon tank, but it's doing some heavy lifting. It's a grow-out tank for my Longfin Celestial Pearl Danio breeding project. And there are about 20 fry hiding in this dense thicket. I need to trim this back so I can actually monitor them, make sure they're eating right, and eventually catch them out as they grow. But as I trim this tank today, we need to have a very real conversation about what it actually takes to grow aquarium plants. If you spend enough time looking at planted tanks online, you would think that to get growth like this, you need a high-tech setup. You would think that you need an expensive specialized soil, a complex schedule of liquid fertilizers, root tabs shoved into the substrate, and heavy filter pushing flow around the tank. Take a close look at this tank. There is no filter. There is no flow. I do not use liquid fertilizer, and I have never used a single root tab. The substrate, it's just regular rainbow gravel, just rocks. Yet, I have to constantly trim this tank because the plant mass is out of control. So how is this happening? To understand that, we have to unlearn almost everything the internet has taught us about aquarium plants. The hobby is absolutely full of laughable misinformation, and the biggest one revolves around substrate and roots. You'll hear gurus talk endlessly about heavy root feeders. They'll tell you that big plants with big roots like Amazon swords or crypts must be planted in specialized soil or fed with root tabs because they feed from the roots. Here is the biological reality. Aquatic plant roots are primarily evolutionary anchors. Their main job is to hold the plant down so it doesn't float away in the current of a river or a stream. Big plants like swords have massive roots because they have a massive profile to hold down against the water flow. Small plants like this pearlweed have small, delicate roots. Root size has absolutely no determination on whether a plant is a heavy root feeder or not. When a plant is submerged in water, it uses passive transport and diffusion. That means it can uptake nutrients directly from the water column anywhere on the plant's surface. The leaves, the stems, the exposed roots. It's essentially one giant nutrient sponge. The whole plant is the root. Big plants eat more than small plants, purely because they have more mass. But it's all relative. A massive, dense jungle of small pearlweed like this can actually outconsume a single large Amazon sword, depending on the total mass. The plant doesn't care if the nutrients are buried under 2 inches of expensive dirt or floating freely in the water column. It just wants to eat. So if I'm not adding fertilizer and gravel is just rocks, well, what are these plants eating? They are eating what the internet tells you to remove or even to fear: aquarium waste, the brown gunk that settles at the bottom of the tank. Most people are taught to vacuum this out religiously. But a while back, I did something nobody else in this hobby has ever done before. I collected that aquarium waste and I sent it off to a professional agricultural laboratory for a full analysis. The results prove what my tanks were already showing me. That waste is the absolute perfect, most complete organic fertilizer you could ask for. It's packed with nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and an incredible amount of iron. In this 2.5 gallon tank, the CPD fry, the microfauna, and the snails are breaking down food and producing waste. That waste settles into the rainbow gravel. As it breaks down, it releases those nutrients directly into the water column. And because of passive transport, this pearlweed jungle soaks it all up effortlessly. It's a completely closed loop. It's nature doing exactly what nature has done for millions of years. No overpriced bottles of liquid fertilizer required. Matter of fact, using plain aquarium waste to feed your plants is the most natural thing you can do in a natural aquarium. You see, out in nature, at the bottom of a pond or a river or a stream, you're not going to find Japanese volcanic rock. You're not going to find organic potting soil. What you're going to find is detritus and waste. So when you understand how simple this all actually is, you start to realize how incredibly disconnected YouTube and social media are from the reality of the hobby. The way the aquarium hobby is portrayed online in many ways is an illusion. The manufacturers and the algorithm love to prop up what I call the 1%. These are the hoarders, the vendors, the industry plants, the guys with the 200 tanks on industrial racks in a basement, running automated water changes and massive water filtration systems that'll tell you that they're just a mad scientist running filterless tanks. Manufacturers love this because they want every new person entering the hobby to think that having a giant rack of 30 tanks is normal. They want you to think that their complicated, high-tech way full of products is the only way to succeed. But the silent majority, the 99.9% of the hobby, the real aquarium owners, are never represented in those videos. Real hobbyists are not maintaining giant commercial racks. They have 1, 2, maybe 3 aquariums in their living room or on their desk. Even the hardcore hobbyists with multiple tank syndrome might have 4 or 5 tanks spread across their house. The people trying to influence you online are not hobbyists. They're vendors. They're businesses. And what works for a vendor maintaining inventory for a swap meet or a club auction where they might sell 20 or 50 or even 100 bags of fish, some of these quote unquote hobbyists that are really vendors have online stores where they sell fish every day of the week. When you follow the advice of this small 1% of the hobby, you end up overcomplicating everything. You get frustrated. You spend too much money. You fight algae battles. And eventually, a lot of people just quit. Because of this, it's getting harder and harder to figure out who to trust. Every day, a new guru pops up with a new set of rules, completely contradicting the last guy. It's enough to make you dizzy. But we live in a very interesting time. You don't have to just take my word for it, and you certainly don't have to take their word for it. You now have the ultimate tool to fact check any creator in this space instantly. The next time you watch a video from a planted tank guru who sounds like they are sharing hidden complex knowledge, I want you to try something. Go to the video description. Go down to the bottom where it says Show Transcript. Copy the entire transcript of their video and paste it into an AI program like Gemini or ChatGPT. Type the exact prompt. Analyze this transcript, point out any misinformation, any gish gallop, and any overcomplications or oversimplifications. Provide sources and citations for why these claims are wrong. The results will blow your mind. You will immediately see the curtain pulled back. You'll see how much of the content pushed in this hobby is scientifically backwards or just designed to sell you a product to fix a problem that doesn't actually exist. The truth is, all of my success in this hobby comes from simply paying attention to my own aquariums and letting them guide me. Even the best guru on YouTube has completely different tap water, different maintenance routines, a different bioload, and a different lighting schedule than you do. Look at these two tanks right next to each other in my own house. They behave differently from one another. No single person on the internet can speak on behalf of every aquarium on the planet. Keep it simple. Trust your own observations. Let nature do the heavy lifting. And don't be afraid to think outside the box. I'm going to finish feeding these CPD fry and get back to watching them grow. Thanks for hanging out today. Trust your tanks, fact check the noise, and I'll see you in the next one.